inspect a rope, one of the things that you want to recognize is that ropes are different, but you have to inspect them. So the first thing we do is we look at the ends of the ropes. We want to see if the ropes are wicked. In this case, this rope, it's not in very good shape here. If I took a look at the other side of this rope, you'd see that it's frayed, it's in bad shape, and the rope itself is starting to come apart. And here's an example of a non-wicked frame. So if you had to say, okay, well, I get that, then you would know that this rope is already weakened. On the other hand, take a look at this braided rope, this kern mantle here, and you see the rope is wicked. What we mean by wicked is it's heated up top, and then tape or thread is wrapped around the ends. So you want to make sure that's the case. Now, most people will do this. They'll take a lighter. Always have a lighter if you're on a job site. Have it with you. Obviously, you can't have it in school, but you definitely want something on a job site like this or camping. Quick lighter. And what you can do is quickly fix that rope by melting it a little bit. Most people, though, what they prefer to do is give it a little bit of heat, but actually take a candle, light the candle. After you do that heat, dip the candle in a lot of wax. Let that wax seep in, and then it will protect this end. After the wax, go ahead and wrap some 100-mile-an-hour tape. You guys know it as duct tape. You can color code them. I like to color code my ropes for certain reasons. That's why they're easy to identify. So you can do that. The other piece, if you had noticed, is after the rope itself, you want to see if it's clean or not. Ropes that are dirty, that have a lot of mud and dirt in them, well, think of that, all those rocks that are fraying, those minute little frays into the rope. So if a rope is not clean, it's very muddy, then it could be a problem. Now, in a beach, you have circular sand. That's why the beach always shifts. They don't interlock. But out here in the Rocky Mountains and other places, you have a thing called angular sand. For example, think of a horse arena. Sand that locks in together. It's angular, so it actually cuts. And so the more dirt and debris that you have in there, the more the rope is actually fraying on the inside. How to clean a rope? Just take a trash can. Ask your parents first. Make sure you can take the trash out and just don't dump it somewhere. Take a trash can. Put some mild soap in there. Don't use heavy-duty detergent. And just simply douse and soak the rope. Then go ahead and then empty that dirt out, that dirty water out, put in some nice clean warm water, soak the rope again, and then let it dry. You don't want to scrub the rope because you end up fraying it. So that's what you do to clean it. After you clean it, you want to make sure that the rope, you inspect it for frays. And I just showed you that frayed end. And if there's another end here, I think there's another piece I want to show you, is now you're going to look for cuts. And if I showed you this one, you can barely see, this is an exact cut of a rope. If you have a cut like this, what this essentially means is you got to take a knife, cut this off, re-wick the end, and then use that rope and throw this rope away. This is why I like to keep a pocket knife. For me, a pocket knife is an essential tool that I use. Obviously, you're in school, you can only have certain knives or certain blades, and of course, don't ever misuse a knife in school. The reason why our students can have knives within the dean of students prescribed size is because we don't act like fools. So don't act like a fool. Handle it like a tool. Just like a firearm is a tool, a knife is a tool. Just like you use tools downstairs, so this is. But again, this blade is probably a little bit larger than what you're allowed in school, so don't bring something like this in. Certainly don't do that. But I would cut this blade, nice and sharp blade. I know how to sharpen these blades. I like a nice thick blade, and I'll cut that rope. Then all I'll do is I'll re-wick the ends. Some people like Leatherman tools. If you like to use a Leatherman tool or what we call a multi-tool, I'm not a big fan of them because the blades, even though I sharpen them, they just don't seem to maintain that sharpness. Sometimes I'll use a bayonet as well because I have a nice sharp blade on that. So that's how I'll cut my ropes, and then I'll re-wick them. If you have a fray like this or anything is cut, you must cut that rope at that point and reuse the remainder portion. That's good. If you've got a bad rope, then I recommend you throw it out, or you go ahead and use it for any other purpose that's not going to cause problems. For example, it's not going to cause safety issues. But how many times are you going to use a rope that's frayed? You really shouldn't. So cut out the bad part and use what you can with the remainder. I like to use some of these ropes that you'll see in class, I like to use ropes that are somewhat old for you to practice on, for knot tying, for example. Now, having said that, once you've got that all cleaned out, make sure that you store your ropes properly. The best way to store your rope is in a rope bag. It can be any canvas bag. It has to be nice and clean. Sometimes I'll just go to the Army-Navy store and just buy an old maintainer's kit, clean out that maintenance kit, get all that, and get that, all those wrenches and tools that are in there, and clean it out, get the oil cleaned out. And what I'll do is, once it's nice and clean, then I'll put that and make that my rope bag. Same thing with your tow ropes. Put it in a bag. Once you're done with it, at some point, especially if you're on a job site and it's 3 o'clock and you don't know what to do with your team, because someday you're going to be a leader, and you should be a leader, just go ahead and have the guys clean out the gear and put it in a rope bag. The last thing you also want to have with ropes, particularly with ropes that you use for mountain climbing, emergency, fire, rescue, is you should log it, have a rope log, which is a little notebook that says when you inspected it, what you noted as problems or deficiencies, and things that you took and actions you took to fix that log. It's like a little maintenance history that's tucked in your rope bag along with that rope or vehicle recovery equipment. Now at this time, what I want you to do is go to your Infinite Campus quiz and go ahead and complete it. You may use your notes. See you in the high ground.